Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SonicWeb Studios is the answer. SonicWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. SonicWeb Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is a key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at a wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry at the same time? Whatever gift for Grandma's recipes or just because, those smiles and tears will just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw, Picture This Photo Books, at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotoBooks.com. Mention Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books. Bring your memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for some great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show merchandise, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, hoodies, and a lot more. Also, check out the Me and Molson-Zia store on Amazon for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles, and for great merchandise, Amazon.com/Me and Molson-Zia. Also, support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM and PayPal, and make sure you also donate to the MikeWagnerShow.com, and make sure you do so today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who is a native of Detroit, Michigan. He was a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, and he's a top educator, also a top sales representative, and also a fashion brand designer, owner, and mogul. And I looked at his collection too, and I was having a hard time trying to decide which credit card to use. He launched a special collection in 50s Macy's stores and 25 Men's Warehouse stores. He also owned the brand since '04 after attending a magic show in Las Vegas. And after Marines, became a top sales rep for Pfizer and designer, looking for the next best thing. And we got the next best thing right here. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios from outside Detroit, the owner of the wonderful, yes, very wonderful, the Tayion Holland collection, Montee Tayion Holland. Monty, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello, Mike. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to talking with you guys.
Well, it's great to have you on board too. And after looking at your fashion collection, I said to myself, I've got to have one of those. And we're going to find out in just a minute and how we can do that. But first of all, you've been a native of Detroit, and you also a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, and you also are a top educator, and you're a fashion brand owner and mogul. And you launched the Tayion Collection in 50 Macy's stores and 25 Men's Warehouse stores, and you continue to expand, which is amazing. You've owned the brand since '04 after attending the Las Vegas Magic Show, and you, after the Marine, became a top sales rep for Pfizer and also a designer looking for the next best thing. And before getting to the Tayion fashion collection as well too, and you're expanding, doing a great job. Tell us how you first got started, Monty.
Well, that's kind of a two-part answer to that question, Mike. Technically, I started the Tayion collection when I first went overseas in the Marine Corps.
Oh, really?
Just going even before that, I've always had a passion for fashion. I've always known that I wanted to do something in the fashion world. I just didn't know exactly where that would be and how to do it. You know, where I'm from, inner city Detroit, I knew nothing about, fashion school or FIT and those types of things. So I just kind of pushed it back to the back of my mind and just always admired, beauty, fashion, and things that looked good to me, and pursued a career in education. So I got my undergrad and graduate degrees in education, as you mentioned earlier. But when I went to the Marine Corps and had the opportunity to travel abroad, spend some time in Okinawa, Korea, Tokyo, those types of places.
Wow.
I had the opportunity to make things for myself because the dollar was strong against the the Asian currency. And I was making things that were just in my head. Give me this fabric, make that jacket, put that button on it, make the lapel like this. Give me a shirt that ties in this way, put this lining in it. And I was creating these things that I just had in my head, not realizing I was designing what would ultimately become, my career. So I had these pieces made, and I got feedback from everybody saying, "Hey, man, wow, those are really cool pieces. That's a great wardrobe. How can I get things like that?" And I was so young, I didn't really quite understand that it was turning into what would ultimately be a business. But I just kind of used it as a hobby, and I would use those contacts to make people that I knew, pieces. Didn't make much margin, didn't make any real profit, but I was just using my contacts to make things for people. And that led to me becoming known as the custom guy. And once I got out of the Marine Corps and started to teach, same thing. People would say, "Man, how can I get something like that?" I use my contacts, make things for them. And, it just kept snowballing. And once I left education, went into corporate America at Pfizer, I was on the team that launched that little blue pill that everybody knows about.
Oh yeah, the beloved little blue pill. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
the most successfully launched drug in history. And I was doing quite well with that. In fact, I was arguably one of the top sales reps in the country with that.
Wow.
So I was doing well. So that led to me making more pieces for myself and getting more feedback from people. And then I started to think, how can I turn my little hobby into a business? So I decided, in my infinite fashion knowledge, to take 15 pieces from my closet, four of my buddies who could fit my pieces, and we went to the Magic Trade Show in Las Vegas. That show is held 2 times a year, in August and in February. And at that show, the whole fashion industry is in one place at one time. And what I mean by that is the manufacturers of product presenting product, the purchasers of product with their buyers there, the models, the people who are launching products, celebrities that have brands, the major heritage brands are there. So I got to see a couple of things. I actually went to that show twice. So for a full year, I went to Benchmark. I went, I checked it out, I walked the show, and I said, I probably could do this. So I went back 6 months later, walked it again, got great feedback. As I walked the show, people are stopping me saying, "Hey, those are beautiful pieces." I then decided, you know what, the next time I come to this show, I'm going to present at this show. Took some money, researched it, found out that the cheapest booth that I could get was a 10 by 10 soft cloth booth.
Oh my gosh.
I had the smallest booth available, one rack, like I said, 15 pieces, four guys that walked around with my pieces, handing out a makeshift flyer. At that show, it was a 4-day show then, it's a 3-day show now. At that show, there was a gentleman launching his line by the name of Steve Harvey. You may have heard of him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, from Chicago area.
Steve Harvey was launching his show, and I got to tell you, while I had a 10 by 10 soft cloth, he had a 2-story hardwood, beautiful booth. He was doing stairs. They probably had 30 people working. It was just a beautiful booth with beautiful mannequins, beautiful product. And I had one mannequin, one rack, and it was just, I didn't know how I was going to compete with that. However, I said, we're here. Let's see what we can do. First day of the show, 30, 40 minutes in, one of my guys came back and said, "Hey, man, Steve Harvey just stopped me. He wants to meet you." I didn't know why. He came down to my booth and we talked, and he said, "Hey, listen, I just licensed my brand to some gentlemen, and I like what you're doing, and maybe there's some type of way that you and I can do something together. If you maybe help me tweak my brand to get it to look more like what you were doing, and then in turn, I can maybe introduce you to the guys who are licensing my brand, and they can help you bring your brand to fruition." Now, between you, me, and your listeners, I didn't know what licensing meant then.
Mm-hmm.
I played it off.
Here, I got a license, one in front, one in back.
Exactly. So at the end of the show, by the way, we were doing quite well. We were writing stores, specialty stores, mom and pop stores from all around the country. And I mean, we had stores from Chicago, New York, Detroit, Atlanta, LA, you name it, they were coming. And we were writing orders. Now, keep in mind, this is very important. I didn't know how to price the product for wholesale purchase. You sell it wholesale, and then the stores put their margin on it so that it makes sense for them, and they sell it retail. Well, At the end of the show, we pack up, we're leaving, and I see Steve and a gentleman talking. I see the people packing his booth up. They look pretty busy. And I decided, well, I'm not going to bother him. He maybe really didn't mean it anyway. I won't bother him. He sees that I'm going to keep walking past and he whistles for me to come back. I come back, I walk into the booth. They're celebrating, Mike. They're pouring champagne in this booth, drinking champagne, playing music, having a good time. And Steve's talking to a gentleman. I sit down, Steve and the gentleman across the table from me, two gentlemen standing behind me in close proximity, the rest of the people packing up the booth. As we're introducing one another, Steve says, Doug, I want you to meet Monty. Monty, Doug, this is the young fella I told you about. I'm listening to the two gentlemen behind me, one's pouring the other a glass of champagne. The one says to the other, right behind me, I don't know why we're talking to this guy because we've been in the business 30 years and we just had the best show we've ever had with this new Steve Harvey line. It's going to be great. We don't need this guy. I can hear him. So Doug says to me, I hear you had a good show. I said, I think we did. I don't know what that means, but I think we had a good show. Right when he's saying that, the other gentleman says to the man who said we don't really need him, wow, how did we do? So I pause as Doug is asking me, how'd you do, to see what he was going to respond. He says to the guy, we did about 1.3.
1.3.
So I'm thinking, well, I'm not a mathematician, but he can't possibly mean 1.3 billion. He means 1.3 million. So I let him say that 1.3 million in the show. That's great. So I respond back to Doug as he's asking me what we did. I said, I think we did about $1 million. Now, remember, I had a 10 by 10 booth, soft cloth booth, 15 suits, 4 guys just walking around. They had a big giant booth, Steve Harvey, 30 employees, the whole deal. So now he's looking at me. He stopped. He was eating, by the way. He stopped eating. He looked at me and he said, you think you did $1 million at this show? I said, I think we did pretty close to $1 million. Now, Steve's a comedian, so he faces, the guy slaps the table and says, I told you, he's a bad boy. You need to talk to him. So we started to talk a little bit. He said, you think you sold $1 million? I said, I think I sold $1 million. He said, do you mind if I see your paper? Now, Mike, the two guys behind me, they're not saying another word. They're a lot closer now, almost over my shoulder. So, mind if I see your paper, meaning my purchase orders? I said, sure. I gestured for my assistant to come in. She comes in, hands me the purchase orders. I hand them to him. He starts to flip through them. He notices 3 things. Number 1, he notices we sold the same accounts that they sold across the country. They've been in the business 30 years. I had never been in the business. We sold the same accounts. Number 2, in most cases, we sold them as much product, meaning amounts of units. Now, I had 15 pieces. If it was black, it was black. I didn't have the blue, the brown, the gray. No economies of scale at all. They did. They had ranges. And number 3, and most importantly, he noticed that we were selling it at a price point that they had never seen in that particular market, the fashion suit market. Now, remember, I told you I didn't know how to price it. They were selling the Steve Harvey 2-piece, 135, 3-piece, 145 vested, which means you then put your margin on it and they can sell it for $400, $450. Mm-hmm. I would pieces wholesale $375, $350-ish, which means they then have to sell it for $900, $1,000. Versace has. So he looked at it and he flipped through and he said, this can't be real. They'll never pay this for that. So I said, well, I'm not sure what that means, but I took them back. They seem to be pretty excited about it. So he says, I'll tell you what, why don't you enjoy, the rest of the time here in Vegas. We'll fly you to New York in a week or so, let this settle in, and we'll discuss what we could possibly do. I pack up, I leave. A week later, I'm in New York. And apparently he had called a few of those stores and they told him how excited they were about it. And he said, well, we have to do something. We can't very well make what you sold at the show, but why don't you come back to the show and be in the booth with us? We shipped none of it, by the way. We shipped none of it, but I was just happy. I was still with Pfizer. I was just happy that we had done that. 6 months later, I'm back at the show. 4th day, we're back at that table. Now everybody's at the table. How'd you do? They did 1.4, we did 1.2. They could not believe it. Do you remember the cartoons back in the day when the coyote was chasing after the road runner and he would look like a chicken, like he wanted to eat him?
Oh yeah, like 20 years he did everything. The Acme rocket,
Yeah,
the Acme dynamite, the Acme door, the Acme mountain, the Acme Roadrunner. And after 20 years,
yeah,
and the funny part was, okay, now he finally caught the Roadrunner. What do I do with him?
exactly. So these guys, I could tell, I could see in his eyes that he was like, "Oh my goodness, what can we possibly? We need to do something with him." So, long story short, they decided, and he was right, to just make 5,000 pieces in advance quickly, fly it here because rather than the 8 month turnaround it takes to make fabric, make the product, put it on the boat, bring it here. They said, let's just get some fabric, make the styles, fly it here because the price point is certainly one that we can afford to fly it in. Flew it in, we had product in 3 weeks, we sold it out. 5,000 pieces in 2 weeks, gone.
5,000 in 2 weeks.
Gone.
Woo!
And the stores were selling it at great price points that they had never sold it for before. And that's how we got into the industry.
Wow. Unbelievable. I'm about to find my credit card and I have to get it from my wife. I have to order one from there. Now, I also love what you got as well, too, right now. And you can just tell us about that, too, and where can we purchase. I love what you got.
Well, right now we after a lot of years, a lot of hard work, we sold literally hundreds and hundreds of specialty stores across the country. So we had a nice following with the specialty stores. So after all those years of selling the specialty stores, we were recruited and there were a lot of eyes on us. And the big box stores were kind of watching us. I was recruited by a company called Peerless, with a gentleman who ran Peerless. Peerless is the largest manufacturer of clothing in the men's clothing in the world, but certainly the United States of America. They have brands like Ralph Lauren, Tommy Hilfiger, Michael Kors, DK and White, Calvin Klein. And they came to me and said, hey, let's do something, help us diversify our portfolio. And in turn, we can help maybe diversify the portfolios of the big box stores, i.e. Macy's and Men's Warehouse. At the same time, I was invited to a week-long workshop at Macy's.
Wow.
Workshop at Macy's. They had 3,000 applicants. They chose 15. I was one of the 15. And they teach you how to sell the big box. They teach you how to manage, inventory to sell the big box and so on and so forth. So at the same time that was happening, the world turned upside down.
Mm.
World turned upside down with COVID-19, the civil unrest happened. So then they wanted to expedite their diversity program. And somebody said, how can we do this? How can we diversify our product and get through this tough period, which is COVID? Somebody said we need to have more diverse owned vendors. And then they said, well, who could that be? We don't know anybody. Do we know anybody? Somebody said the Tayion Collection. Right when we were signing the deal with Peerless, that happened, came together and decided to attack this thing as a team. So we launched in 50 Macy's stores right during the pandemic and did extremely well. Even during the pandemic, we sold at a very good rate. At the same time, we launched in 25 Men's Warehouse doors. And by the way, in stores and on menswarehouse.com as well as Macy's.com. We did sell that Men's Warehouse has increased that distribution to 50 doors. And now they're going to give us an all-door custom program for weddings and black tie events, those types of things. All doors, meaning 630 doors for a custom Tayion program.
Wow, that is mind-blowing. I gotta say that is so mind-blowing. And of course, do you think online sales have gotten really strong as well too, besides the stores? And do you think online will do better as well?
Online is doing phenomenal. Online represents a large chunk of all sales. In fact, I was told by the buyer at Men's Warehouse that without any real advertising push, Tayion represented about 25% of their .com business. I'm assuming that's in tailored clothing, but that 25% of any business category at Men's Warehouse is huge. And for us to do that, I'm very proud of that.
That is so amazing. I remember the Men's Warehouse as well too. And, living in Chicago, it had the owner on there. It's like, I personally guarantee it. And I guarantee that your stuff is really good.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. We'll talk about your expansion of the fall lineup as well, too, in just a minute. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? SonicWeb Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forge Riley, and Manelas. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books. Remembering is a key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. Who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift for remembrance? Makes you laugh and cry at the same time. Whatever gift for Grandma's recipes or just because, those smiles and tears will just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw, Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotoBooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books. Bring your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms, including the MikeWagnerShow.com. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. Check out the Mike Wagner Show merchandise at the MikeWagnerShow.com and also on Amazon.com, the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/MeandMolsonZia and check out his store for great merchandise and also great books as well. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, also PayPal at the Mike Wagner Show or Mike Wagner Voiceover. And also, support us on the MikeWagnerShow.com and make sure you give generously as well. We're here with Detroit native and the owner of the Montee Tayion Fashion Collection, Montee Tayion Holland, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And a great story about how you got into fashion makes me want to buy all this great stuff. Honey, do you have my credit card yet? Please bring it down. Thank you. I'm sure everybody's pulling out the credit cards right now. And the big news, you've got the expansion lineup of fall fashion of the Fall Tayion Fashion Collection, and tell us about your wonderful collection.
Okay, so the collection is made up of what we call interchangeable pieces. So we intentionally select fabrications that will allow a customer to come in, buy a piece or buy several pieces, and those pieces can then interchange. So piece A can tie into piece B can tie into piece C, and you can do a couple of different things. My goal with the Interchangeable Collection was to do a few things: create excitement, increase foot traffic, and promote the multiple purchase. And it does that while at the same time showing a guy how to style himself a little bit better without having to have a professional help you do it. So if you buy my black suit, for instance, or my black or blue suit, for instance, that same black or blue suit, jacket, vest, pant can tie into another piece that maybe has some black and or blue in it, and you can mix and match. Take the vest from this piece, put it with that, the jacket from this piece, put it with that. I like to call it Garanimals for grown-ups.
Garanimals for grown-ups. I remember those days. It's like you had to mix and match. You had to go to Zara, you had to go to Kmart. It's like, I'm dating myself, I gotta say that. But J.C. Penney's too. It's like, who can forget J.C. Penney's with Garanimals? Oh my gosh.
That's right. And what we're doing now is, as another part of the expansion, is we're adding other categories, meaning we have the coordinating shirts or coordinating ties. We have outerwear. We have boys for the little fellas. And we'll soon have ladies apparel as well as sportswear. So we're really looking to expand this thing and take it, globally and, make this thing a household name.
Mm-hmm. And what fashion trends do you expect in 2022? And what fashion trend is on the verge of making a comeback?
Well, I can tell you, dress up is never going to go out of style. Dress up is going to be big for 2022. What I mean by that is, that bygone era where, I'm going to take you back. That bygone era where a guy would go to work in a suit, come home, take that suit off, put another suit on for his extracurricular activities.
Huh.
Think back to 1920s, 1930s baseball game, Mike. Think about the crowd. When you think of a picture, you see all the gentlemen in that crowd would have a suit on, many of which would have a vest on and a hat on. Just think about that. And then they would, from that game, go home, take that suit off, put another one on to go hang out. So that dress up era, that roaring 20s type of era is going to be big, and it's going to come back here in 2022. Guys are ready to want to get back outside and they want to look good while they're doing it.
Wow. You know something? I'm at to update my collection. I'm feeling underdressed at this point talking to you here. Of course, I can put on a blazer if you like. I mean, I look good in that. So
No, it's all good. And that's part of what we want to do. Everything is not for everybody. And maybe you're a guy who doesn't wear a tie. Maybe you're a guy who doesn't wear a three-piece suit. But you can certainly be a guy to dress up. There's going to be a time in your life when you're going to have something for a special occasion. We like to say that Tayion is for the moments that matter. So we take our pieces and you can go from work to play to a baseball game or football game with your, with your young person, or on a date with the person that you're hanging out with. So we have things that are from bomber jackets all the way up to tuxedos. We like to say that we can make sure you're good to go with.
wow, that is so amazing. And where can we find your lineup at, and what's your website, and where can we find all your great clothing line at?
So you can start with my website, which is tayion.com. That's TAYION.com. And you can obviously find it at Macy's.com or menswarehouse.com.
That's so amazing. What's coming up in 2021 beyond for Montee Tayion Holland? We'll find out just 1 minute. Listen to the Mike Widener Show at the MikeWidenerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Widener Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Also brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is a key ingredient. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. We'll be back with Montee Tayion Holland and the Tayion Fashion Collection after this time out. We're back with Montee Tayion Hall of the Montee Tayion Fashion Collection here on the Mike Widener Show. Just a great story, and makes you want to get out and dress up after talking to this very inspirational gentleman. And what else can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond, perhaps going into 2022, Monty?
I'm laughing, Mike, because this is the second time you call me Montee Hall. You must want to make a deal.
Montee Tayion, yeah.
Montee Holland. It's Montee Tayion Holland. But it's Montee Holland. That's fine because I hear it all the time. But when people say that, I always say, hey, let's make a deal then. I want to make a deal if you want to call me Montee Hall. But it's Montee Holland. And what you can expect for the rest of 21 is the fall line is just now hitting stores. The new line will be hitting stores in the next week or so. And that's going to be very exciting because we have outerwear that's going to be hitting the stores for the first time. And then we're going to go right into, spring. Spring's going to be a big time of the year for us. And spring 22 is going to be more robust. The line is expanded, great exploding colors and really cool pastels for spring. So look for that with the Tayion Collection in Macy's and Men's Warehouse.
We're certainly looking forward to it, Monty, and I'm very excited, just like many of us. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career, Monty?
Oh, wow. My mother is a huge influence in my career because she was always a very well-dressed woman. My coaches and my dean of students from high school that I would see come to practice, and my dean of students who I would see at school, I knew when I saw those men wearing those suits and ties and cufflinks that I wanted to be in the fashion world. So they're huge influences. Being from Detroit, the Motown era, the Temptations, Four Tops, Smokey Robinson, those guys are huge influences. But then I take all of that and I mesh it with that Renaissance era that we talked about, that roaring 20s era. I take the Renaissance man and I combine it with the new millennial man, and that is what Tayion is.
Oh, that's so amazing. So looking forward to it. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
The best advice I like to give people is there's no growth in the comfort zone, no comfort in the growth zone. If you want to do something, you have to start, and you don't lose until you quit. So don't quit and you won't lose. Just keep moving forward and stay disciplined. Stay disciplined and focused on the task at hand, and you will succeed. And I know that sounds like a little bit of a cliche, but failure is not an option, and keep moving forward. You will succeed.
And that's a very good advice as well, too. Once again, Montee Tayion Holland on the Mike Wagner Show with his fashion collection. Monty, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date, and we'll be well dressed this time. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your clothing line?
Okay, so check us out. The stores are receiving product as we speak. Macy's and Men's Warehouse. The fall collection is dropping here in the next week. So go to Macy's.com, menswarehouse.com. You can also visit Tayion.com, that's Tayion.com, to check out some things that you may not see at the big box stores. So check us out. We look forward to seeing you. And also engage with us on social media. Tayion Collection on IG as well as on Facebook. So we look forward to, to speaking with everybody.
We certainly will do so. Once again, Monty, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back in 2021 and beyond. Don't forget to keep in touch. You've been absolutely terrific, and we definitely wish you all the best. You are totally amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Mike. You have a great day.